Welcome back to Roller Coaster. It's the best coaster of the year weekly series. Last week you guys voted for the best coaster of 2014. You voted for Helix at Leesburg, the Mack multi-launch, defeating some three pretty solid roller coasters, especially Medusa Steel Coaster at Six Flags Mexico. That really solid RMC. When it first opened, could have been the best RMC, but now now apparently it's running slower. They put on steel wheels instead of the polyurethane wheels, and I don't know. Medusa is kind of a unknown roller coaster in the community now because not too many have ridden it. Um, is it running better now? Is it running worse? People rode it a few years ago. Who knows? Um, so like the safe option would definitely be to choose Helix, but there's a chance that if Medusa's running insanely fast, it has like some of the best pacing on Earth. Um, Looks like one of the better RMCs already, and if you put the crazy pacing on it, it could be really insane. So I don't know what's better. And then there's time travel at Hocko Park, one of those really crazy looking terrain gravity group woodies. Actually, most of the gravity groups in China are not terrain woodies. They're a really solid layout placed on flat land. But this one actually uses some of that nice Chinese hilly terrain, and it's got some really cool elements. Um, like some 90-degree turns and stuff, and it's a nice long ride. But I've heard that those Chinese woodies aren't maintained very well, and operations suck. Obviously, that doesn't matter, but that doesn't matter for like voting for the best coaster. But I mean, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, time travel, solid wooden coaster for sure. I wouldn't really say it's better than Medusa or probably not Helix, but very solid wooden coaster. Banshee at Kings Island. Well, a lot of people say it's one of the best inverts. It's not my favorite invert. I personally prefer even Raptor at Cedar Point. I'm crazy, but um, Banshee, one of the best, one of the best inverts around. Very unique ride, big long ride, sweeping elements, intense, hang time, horrible restraints. Anyway, but I can agree with Helix. I can see why everybody voted for the best. So moving on, we've got the best coaster of 2015. You're gonna vote for one of these four coasters using the eye on the top right corner of the video. So comments don't count. But you knew that already. So moving on, we got Schwer Karnen, Schwer Days, Karanon at Hansa Park, the Gerstlauer Infinity, Wicked Cyclone at Six Flags New England, the RMC Hybrid, Fury 325 at Carowinds, the B&M Giga, and Twisted Colossus at Six Flags Magic Mountain, the RMC Hybrid. So you're going to vote for one of those four coasters using the eye on the top right corner of the video. Now, we've got even more coasters that opened in 2015. We've got Acrobat at Nagashima Spyland, the nice light blue B&M Flyer, clone of Manta, really solid looking ride. I think it's the first time Manta was ever cloned, and the only time it's ever been cloned. But yeah, it's a pretty cool B&M at that park full of Japanese coasters and the world's tallest or world's longest and most expensive coaster or something like that. So that's pretty cool. Baron 1898, the nice B&M dive in the Netherlands. That is a really short ride, but has a crazy theme, crazy experience. I don't really know much about it. Um, Everybody's probably seen CoasterBot's video on it. I don't really pay attention, so but that is a very cool looking ride for sure. Very cool looking dive coaster. Batman the Ride at Six Flags Fiesta Texas was the first SNS 40 free spin, and my goodness, you've all heard of these now. I've actually been on this one. My experience was all right, I guess. I don't really care about these rides. They exist and they're fun to ride sometimes, but there are better coasters in the world for me. But that was the first one, and it was an alright ride. Cannonball Lagoon opened this year. That is I believe it's the steepest coaster in the U.S. Well, now it isn't because of Shellraiser, but it's one of the steepest in the U.S. Really tall, crazy drop. Like I'm pretty sure it's over 200, right? It does a lot of crazy stuff in there. Got of course the classic lagoon roll where it twists one way and then twists the other way back to back, and it's really weird. Coo Cullen at Tato Park, another coaster I've ridden. There are three. This is like a record. There are three coasters here that I've ridden on this list. Coo Cullen is the Irish gravity group wooden coaster, like placed on a flat ground. Really crazy long layout. Like it's basically a minute from drop to brakes. It does a whole extra like circle around its layout, and it's just a really nice long ride. Um, Great airtime, laterals, intensity all around. One of the best wooden coasters I've ridden. Um, yeah, it's a great ride for sure. Dragon Roller Coaster at Energylandia. I've also been on this one. That's right. Two European coasters that I've ridden in the same list. And this is a really, like, people don't talk about these things enough, but these little Vekoma SFCs, suspended family coasters, are actually really awesome. They're really smooth. Actually quite intense. very well paced, just really great rides. I think the bigger model of these ones, the smaller ones like Freedom Fly are that great, but like Dragonfly at Dollywood is a clone of Dragon Roller Coaster at Energylandia, and it's funny that they're both green and they're both dragons, but um, yeah, those are close to each other, and they're really great rides. Some nice helixes or helices, and they're some solid rides, and I was actually pleasantly surprised by it. So very cool ride. Only issue is they only have one train, I believe. I don't know about Dragonflyer. It might have two. I hope it has two. Anyway, Euro Express at Roman U Park is basically, if you remember Kanonen at Leesburg, the little Intamin launch coaster, it's Kanonen with a lift hill. So it's the entire layout of Kanonen with a vertical loop, the Heartline roll, and the twisty airtime Intamin goodness, except it's got a cable lift hill. Probably the world's shortest cable lift hill. It's like probably like 80 feet tall, I'm guessing. Very cool looking ride. Goes through like this uh, cool themed European little area. It's at a Chinese park, so it's very unique. I think there's like a 200-pound weight limit on this thing, or like 180-pound weight limit. So I really hope I don't gain too much weight, so I can eventually ride that thing one day. But yeah, interesting ride for sure. And then Harpy, another B&M flyer, opened this year at Zhishuangbana Sunakland in China. It's like southern China. It's not a park that's covered very often. It's actually a custom flying coaster. I know it looks very similar to Manta because it is very similar to Manta. It's basically Manta, just a little bit less interesting. Kind of like a combination of Manta and Superman Ultimate Flight. There's a POV out there. It isn't great. Yeah, it just kind of exists, and it's all right. It's a interesting looking ride. It's got the same the Manta swoop over the water there, and it's a good looking ride for sure. So moving on, we got even more 2015 roller coasters to have opened in 20. I just really need to slow down, man. Impulse at Knoebels is the Zero vertical lift. It kind of looks like a Gerstlauer, but it's not, and it's really weird. And it's short. It's got hang time and a Cobra roll and some other stuff in there. Really weird looking ride, but it looks like a lot of fun. Some nice hang time. And then three Jungle Trailblazers opened this year. They've narrowly missed making it onto this week. Now that we're getting into the more recent years, there are so many good coasters. I'm starting to have to cut some big names here. Jungle Trailblazers aren't necessarily big names, but like I had to cut out Ku Kulin and like kind of bigger names. So anyway, yeah, Jungle Trailblazer, Oriental Heritage, Jinan, and Woohoo. These are both Jungle Trailblazers with inversions. They're not the same layout, but they both kind of do the same um, beginning sections here, where it's like a drop and a turn and a hill, and then another turn, and then it's that really cool inversion there. Um, you're looking at the one at Woohoo there on the top right, and they are nice long rides. I believe the one at Woohoo is about 10 seconds longer, longer track length, a little bit taller. But they both do the same thing. They both have inversion and some crazy awesome airtime laterals, gravity grip goodness. And then there's a much different looking ride. We got the Jungle Trailblazer at Fentiwild Dreamland Zhengzhou. That is the one with the like reverse high five. So it's like the high five, except the track is like against itself instead of like on opposite sides. It's like the opposite of a high five. It's not a dueling coaster, contrary to the high five. It's just kind of has track that's back to back on itself, and it's pretty cool looking. It's just another gravity group, just like all the other Jungle Trailblazers, just with a nice long layout, airtime, intensity, and stuff. So cool stuff. And then Junker, or is it Junker? I think it's Junker at Powerland. That nice Swedish. Oh, wait, Swedish, right? Powerland, or is that in Finland? Am I stupid? I feel like it's in Finland. Yeah, Powerland. That is a Gerstlauer Infinity. It launches. It does a bunch of hang times. It does a lot of things, and it's got a lot of inversions or something. I forget how the layout works, but I believe it's getting like extended. Its layout's getting extended to break some record for this year. So I'm really curious to see what happens with that. Got to follow that one. Yes, okay. Masquerade at Wiener Prater. I'm not going to say excuse me. This is my video. I can do what I want. Masquerade at Wiener Prater. This is the I forget who made it, but it's not like any big company. It's a traveling coaster, and actually the final section where it's indoor. Well, it's not traveling. It stayed at Wiener Prater for 5 years now, but it has an indoor section, outdoor section. The indoor section is the crazy part. Lots of spinning and crazy hills in there. Very short ride, however. Like it's like not even 1,000 feet long. I know. but still very cool looking ride. Some flashing lights and your classic indoor fun house, but it's also a spinning coaster kind of thing. Except it actually does some cool stuff, so I put it on here. Oblivion the Black Hole at Gardaland opened this year. That's that nice white B&M dive coaster over there. A short ride, pretty standard layout. Got the smaller trains. Still a very cool ride, nonetheless. Some cool theming in there too. It like drops into a black hole or something like that. So that's pretty cool. And then Red Fire at Corsan Adasi or Pirate Island or something. Now, no, Corsan. That's right. That's right. Corsan Adasi is the Turkish translation of Pirate Island. It's the name of the park. Used to be called Viasi, so you might remember Red Fire at Viasi. Now it's Pirate Island in near Istanbul, I know. So that's pretty cool. That is a clone of Red Fire, except this one has lap bars, and the layout's a little bit different. So I debated putting it on this week, but I decided, it's so similar to iSpeed, and I forget if iSpeed won or not, but, everybody knows iSpeed, and, so I didn't really include it. Plus, I thought the coasters that I listed today are probably better. I don't know, though. It's probably close. Anyway, so Rewind Racers at Adventure City. Wait, why am I forgetting who made that? I feel like it's a Gerstlauer, but I'm not 100%. That is a like little family shuttle coaster in Adventure City, Southern California. Kind of, it's just down the road from Knott's Berry Farm, so that kind of gives an idea. Little family park. They have another little kiddie coaster, and this is a cool, unique ride that opened this year. So cool stuff. Moving on, we have even more 2015 roller coasters like Roller Coaster Mayan at Energylandia. Another coaster I've ridden. Yeah, yeah, we love burps on these videos. Why am I burping so much, man? I tend to eat and then record as a thing. That like I don't even know. And I usually burp when I like drink pop, so I don't know why I'm burping right now. Like I just had a salad. I don't understand. Roller Coaster Mayan at Energylandia, one of the second most recent Vekoma, like old school Vekoma SLC to be built. It's got the nice vest restraints that definitely helped the ride a lot. If it did not have vests, the ride would have sucked. And the ride still wasn't that great. I wasn't a huge fan of it. It's like, um, it's probably my fifth favorite in the park, maybe fourth, fifth. I don't know. The ride isn't great. The layout's cool and stuff. It's an SLC. I mean, come on. It's just, it's as rough as most SLCs, but it has the vest, so the ride's a little better. Um, and it's all orange, so it's kind of ugly, but cool looking ride for sure. I just said it's ugly and I said cool looking ride. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but anyway, Serpent at Sindbad. That was actually the first SLC I ever rode, and then later last year I finally rode Thunderhawk at Michigan's Adventure, my like second home park after Cedar Boy. So anyway, Serpent at Sindbad is the Moroccan Gerstlauer Eurofighter. I believe it's a clone of like your classic 320 model, so like an Untamed at Kenobi Lake or a what is it? What else is a 320? Like Rage at Adventure Island. It's one of those, but it's in Morocco and it's very remote. And I don't know why it exists, but it's a nice looking ride for sure. So cool stuff. Switchback at ZDTs. I believe it's like the only like large coaster in Morocco too. Switchback at ZDTs is of course, the shuttle coaster, the shuttle gravity grip coaster with the steepest wooden coaster drop or something like that. Well, it doesn't really drop. It's just like it's what turns the ride back, and it's pretty cool looking for sure. And it has some nice little airtime moments. Goes through a building, very very compact layout, very cool looking ride for sure. So moving on, Tempesto. Why did I include Tempesto on this list? That's just your standard Premier Rides launch coaster. Everybody tries to forget about it, but it's right there in the front of Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and you know I wouldn't mind if it was relocated, but it just kind of exists there. They have too many launch coasters now. They have four. It's a lot of launches. It's a lot of back and forth launches in one park. Anyway, but Thunderbird at Holiday World is, of course, the only launch that B&M has ever made. Is the only B&M launched wing coaster, and a lot of people say it's the best B&M wing coaster because it kind of strays from the norm in that it launches and doesn't have the wing over drop lift hill or all that boring stuff. This is a launch and it goes straight into its layout. Really nice, intense layout. I hear it just does everything a wing coaster should, and I'm excited to ride it soon. So cool stuff. And then there's Turbulence at Adventureland, a coaster that nobody really realizes it exists. A really cool like free spinning coaster, think of like a Sierra Sidewinder, except this is a more compact like Mack little really cool looking thing at a park in Long Island, so near New York, east of New York on Long Island. Yeah, it exists. It's a very satisfying layout to look at. and it's there. Also, a ride I did include on purpose was Zombie Ride at Bosque Magico. That is, I believe it was the first Premier Ride Skyrocket 2 to feature the dual loading station. In that, while one train's going through, yikes, while one train is going through the layout, the other one is like loading, and then it can switch. And then also, more importantly, the ride goes through its layout twice. So once you finally get through the layout once, you just keep launching through, and you get sent through the whole thing again. And that must be a unique experience. I'm curious to see how fast it runs, see if it's any better than the other Skyrocket 2s. I don't know. It seems pretty cool to me. So yeah, that'll do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you later.